Imagine yourself sitting in a familiar room, where soft light filters gently through the window, the whisper of a light breeze murmurs outside, and you open your eyes to gaze around. Everything seems so clear in that moment: sturdy tables and chairs, vibrant colors, a peaceful atmosphere. But have you ever paused for just a single second, felt the slow rhythm of your own breath, and wondered to yourself, could what I am seeing and feeling truly be the entire truth of this vast universe? Our senses, the bright eyes that capture light, the keen ears that listen to sounds, the skin that touches cool breezes, do they guide us into a world that is genuinely real, or are they merely painting a beautiful picture crafted by the mind? And even deeper still, that immense universe out there, with stars twinkling in the black night sky, majestic mountains rising beneath a blue expanse, it mirrors us as human beings, who we truly are, the choices we make every single day in the world we build with our own hands. Yet sometimes, those very choices turn back to confront us, like a mirror that illuminates the hidden corners of our souls. Now, let your mind wander just a little, envision an idea that quickens your heart with its sheer wonder. What if the reality we live in and breathe every day is nothing more than a sophisticated illusion, a complex tapestry woven by our own brains from invisible threads? This notion sounds as though it leaped straight from the pages of captivating science fiction novels, where characters delve into mysterious dimensions, but in truth, it lies at the heart of groundbreaking work by a brilliant cognitive psychologist named Donald Hoffman. He, with eyes alight from his passion for discovery, has devoted decades to unraveling the secret layers of the human mind. Hoffman's explorations have not only reshaped how we view perception but have also sparked intense debates in fields ranging from philosophy to artificial intelligence, influencing thinkers who ponder whether machines could ever truly see the world as we do. In recent years, up to the advancements noted in 2025, his ideas have even found applications in emerging technologies like instrumental transcommunication engineering, where perceptions are modeled to bridge human and machine interfaces in unprecedented ways. Take a moment to turn back the clock, to sense the long, winding journey of humanity in comprehending the world around us. In ancient times, our ancestors stood upon vast open fields, gazing at a horizon that appeared perfectly flat, stretching endlessly into the distance, and they firmly believed that the Earth was an enormous flat plain. It looked that way, did it not? Winds swept across the grasslands, the sun rose and set with clockwork regularity, and everything felt stable beneath their feet. But then came Pythagoras, the ancient Greek mathematician whose mind was as sharp as a finely honed blade, who uncovered the reality: the Earth is round, spinning like a perfect sphere. We had been mistaken, and that belief shattered like the sky after a storm, paving the way for further inquiries into the cosmos. Contrary to common myths, not all ancient cultures clung to a flat Earth idea. Many, including the Greeks, had spherical models, but Pythagoras formalized it through mathematical proofs, influencing later astronomers and setting the stage for a paradigm shift that echoed through centuries. Humanity did not stop there. We deceived ourselves once again. We imagined the Earth as the center of the universe, motionless and steadfast like a rock amid the flowing river of life. The sun rose in the east and set in the west, stars wheeled overhead, all of it revolving around us. Yet Nicolaus Copernicus, with his meticulous calculations performed under the flickering light of candles late into the night, and later Galileo Galilei, the courageous man who faced the Inquisition's court, proved us wrong yet again. Galileo peered through his homemade telescope, hearing the soft clink of metal as he adjusted it, and observed streaks of light moving across the heavens, irrefutable evidence that the Earth is merely a small planet orbiting the Sun. Following those revelations, Galileo sat alone in a dim room, wind rushing through cracks in the door, and whispered to himself in deep contemplation. Could we be misunderstanding other aspects of our own experiences? He penned trembling words: "I believe that the sweet taste of ripe fruit, the fragrant scent of blooming flowers, the vivid colors of a rainbow, and so forth, all reside within our consciousness. Therefore, if living beings were removed, all those qualities would perish." Envision that profound instant, Galileo feeling the chill of paper and quill beneath his hand, his heart pounding from the audacity of his thought. Perhaps we are profoundly mistaking everything. Galileo's trials, including his house arrest in 1633, did not dim his legacy. They highlighted the tension between empirical evidence and entrenched dogma, a theme that resonates in modern scientific discourse. Today's neuroscientists, equipped with advanced brain scanners humming steadily in brightly lit laboratories, reveal an astonishing fact. Approximately 1/3 of the cerebral cortex, the outermost layer of the brain, where billions of neurons dance like performers in a luminous feast, is dedicated exclusively to processing vision. The moment you open your eyes, right here and now, seated in a room with the gentle ticking of a clock, billions of neurons and trillions of synaptic connections awaken instantly, linking together in a complex symphony. Does this surprise you? Because we often think of vision as straightforward, like an old-fashioned camera. Simply press a button, and it captures an objective reality, sharp as a glossy print photograph. Indeed, our eyes possess lenses much like camera lenses, focusing inverted images onto the retina at the back of the eye, where about 130 million light receptors reside, equivalent to a modern 130-megapixel camera, capturing details as fine as individual strands of hair. Yet this does not explain why billions of neurons and trillions of synapses are required to process a mere glance. Recent studies in 2025, including those from the Human Brain Project, emphasize that the brain processes visual information through hierarchical stages, with about 90% of all information transmitted to the brain being visual, and humans processing visuals 60,000 times faster than text, enhancing memory retention by up to 74% compared to non-visual content. These neuroscientists, speaking with enthusiasm at crowded scientific conferences, explain that those neurons perform a miraculous task. They construct, in real time, all the curving shapes, vibrant colors, and smooth motions we perceive. You might feel as if you are snapping a quick photograph of the room, the glossy wooden chair, the pristine white wall, sunlight slipping through the curtains, but in reality, the brain assembles it piece by piece, like a master artist rendering a painting from vague sketches. We do not construct the entire world at once. Instead, we build only what is necessary in the moment, such as when you focus on a loved one's familiar face, sensing their warm smile, while the background fades like morning mist. This selective processing, known as attentional modulation, involves regions like the visual cortex and prefrontal areas collaborating seamlessly, as shown in functional magnetic resonance imaging scans that light up with activity patterns unique to each individual's perceptual style. Envision your perception of reality as a sophisticated computer interface, cleverly designed by the brain to simplify the intricate workings of the external world. This is the essence of Hoffman's theory, a challenging, earth-shaking idea that leaves you feeling as if you stand on the brink of a grand discovery. His work has ignited lively discussions in cognitive science, philosophy, and physics, where scientists gather around long wooden tables, steam rising from hot cups of coffee, debating deep into the night. They invite us to question the true nature of reality, as if unlocking a door to a secret garden blooming with flowers under moonlight. In evolutionary game simulations, computer models run millions of times by Hoffman and his team. With the whir of cooling fans filling the lab, he demonstrates how perceptions evolve not for truth but for survival fitness, a concept validated in peer-reviewed papers from journals like Psychonomic Bulletin and Review, where perceptual strategies compete in virtual worlds. According to Hoffman, the enormous complexity of reality keeps it concealed from our limited understanding, like a deep ocean harboring strange creatures in its abyssal depths. Our perception of the world is not a direct representation of objective reality, as we have assumed for generations. We believe there is a tight link between what we see and the truth. If you tilt your head upward to behold the full moon hanging suspended in the pitch-black night sky, a cool breeze caressing your skin, then surely a physical object exists in space and time, matching that image. But Hoffman, with his warm, persuasive voice, argues that if evolution by natural selection operates rigorously, our perceptions exist solely to guide adaptive behavior, helping us survive, find food, evade threats, rather than unveiling the full truth. In fact, they hide the truth, for reality is too complex, too chaotic for our finite brains to handle. This interface theory posits that perceptions are like desktop icons, useful fictions that prioritize fitness payoffs over veridicality, as evidenced by genetic algorithms showing truth-seeking organisms outcompeted by fitness-focused ones in simulated environments. Consider the everyday example Hoffman frequently cites, one that brings a smile for its clever simplicity. When you sit before a laptop computer, your fingers gliding over the cool plastic keyboard as you compose an email to a friend, you are converting voltages inside the machine, tiny currents flowing through circuits. Good luck trying to do that without an interface. The reason we have colorful folder icons and easy-to-click buttons is that no one wants to confront the underlying truth: diodes, resistors, a labyrinth of hardware. Faced with all that reality, you would never send the email, and your friend would wait in silence forever. Evolution has gifted us perceptions as an interface for adaptive behavior, and in doing so, it conceals the truth to make living smoother. Hoffman's biopsychological perspective, explored in recent 2025 publications, further ties this to species fitness icons, suggesting perceptions as evolutionary shortcuts that enhance survival without burdening cognition. Hoffman's approach demands a radical restructuring of our notions of objective reality and time. Drawing from results of evolutionary games, those simulations run millions of times, accompanied by the steady hum of computer fans, he proposes that consciousness, not space-time or physical objects, is the fundamental reality. Today's finest science, from Einstein's general relativity with its curving spacetime to quantum mechanics featuring indeterminate dancing particles, tells us that spacetime is not fundamental. This matters profoundly. For over centuries, profound thinkers, from Aristotle with his aged leather-bound books under oil lamp glow, to Greek philosophers lounging beneath olive tree canopies, regarded earth, air, fire, and water as the basic elements. It was a reduction. Nothing more fundamental exists, and you could build everything from them. But when the periodic table of elements emerged in 1869, crafted by Dmitri Mendeleev with neat squares on paper, we realized earth, air, fire, and water were mere mixtures. Science underlies fire oxidation reactions releasing heat and light, water, tightly bound H2O molecules, and so on. They are not fundamental, they form the upper layer. Beyond the periodic table, we delved deeper into quarks, leptons, and gluons within the standard model of particle physics, refined through experiments at the Large Hadron Collider in CERN, where particle collisions echo like man-made thunder. The periodic table excels for chemistry, enabling life-saving medicines for millions, but to reach the basics, one arrives at quarks, leptons, and gluons. And now, the latest research up to 2025 from string theory and quantum gravity reveals that spacetime itself, the framework Einstein described with its undulating curves, is merely an emergent representation of deeper symmetries. The entire framework upon which consciousness studies rely could collapse, as Hoffman notes with regret for his peers. They are brilliantly intelligent, toiling tirelessly in labs with screens flickering data, but if trapped by outdated assumptions like earth, air, fire, water, progress stalls. Hoffman seeks a theory beyond spacetime, a dynamical theory of consciousness, where the dynamics of consciousness self-generate. The geometry physicists explore transcending spacetime, akin to twisted dimensions in superstring theory. If successful, we gain an entirely new view of consciousness's relation to the brain or physical world. Currently, colleagues assume spacetime as basic, quarks, leptons, gluons as basic, then atoms, neurons, and somehow complex matter yields conscious experience via functional properties. But all within spacetime, something modern physics, with evidence from gravitational waves detected by LIGO in 2015 and observations updated through 2025, deems non-fundamental. No threshold makes us whole, we are alive from the start. We do not define consciousness because it does not reside in spacetime. To tackle the hard problem of consciousness, why matter produces the sweet sensation of honey dissolving on the tongue, the aching sadness of an old melody, Hoffman proposes consciousness as a fundamental aspect of the universe, not a byproduct of the brain. This shifts the dialogue from seeking a tiny pilot in the mind to viewing consciousness as a pervasive force, basic as electromagnetism or gravity. Observe how Hoffman connects to quantum theory. The observer-dependent nature, as in the young double-slit experiment, where particles act as both waves and particles until measured, with the click of a detector in a darkened room, may reflect consciousness shaping reality. A tree falling in a forest unheard. In quantum terms, it both falls and does not until observed. Yet, clarifying misconceptions, the observer need not be conscious. Any interaction, like a detector, collapses the wave function, as demystified in analyses showing no direct link to human awareness. Hoffman suggests our consciousness plays a similar role, generating experiential reality. Reality might be a vast network of interacting conscious agents, from simple to complex, yielding mutual experiences, an idea akin to modern panpsychism, explored in 2025 consciousness conferences with data from hypothetical conscious artificial intelligence. Panpsychism, gaining traction as materialism falters, posits consciousness permeating all matter, from electrons to ecosystems, as debated at the COSM 2025 panel and in journals like Scientific American, where integrated information theory faces critiques for implying consciousness in grids or even non-living entities. This is not madness. Releasing false assumptions opens fresh ways to ponder life's mysteries. Hoffman wagers reality will prove more enchanting and surprising than ever. His ideas have stirred vast interest, fueling heated debates in the scientific community. Articles in Nature and Physical Review from 2024 to 2025 testing his evolutionary simulations. Critics engage thoughtfully but highlight the speculative nature, challenging empirical tests like measuring consciousness beyond the brain via advanced neuroimaging. They stimulate discourse on implications for understanding consciousness, linking mind to reality, inspiring a new generation to explore the universe not just with eyes but with open souls. As 2025 unfolds, with paradigm shifts toward panpsychism and quantum-informed models, Hoffman's vision invites us to embrace a cosmos where perception, once a veil, becomes a portal to profound truths.